Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Hey Owen, how are you doing? Give me a second, let me just do something here. Okay, here we go. Up, up. Hey Owen, hey Samuel, how are you doing? Hey Mady, good morning. Hey Jumarinas, hey Brian, good to have you again. Yes, I can do oil. Hey Angel Case, hey Linley, good morning. Oddly, very oddly, my stream on TradingView doesn't want to seem to let me. Well, TradingView doesn't seem to want to let me stream today. I'm getting error messages. Not sure why. So I hope that anyone who usually streams on TradingView is able or received a message to switch over and is joining us on YouTube. So I hope that works out. Thank you for that, Owen. Audio and video is good. Good morning, Mark. How are you doing? So yes, we are not today. Oddly, we're not streaming on TradingView, but we are on YouTube. We're working well on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and also to anyone who is watching, we're also streaming live on TikTok as well. So if you can, do help me out massively. Do click that like and subscribe button. I'm sure that would help the algorithms somehow to get more people onto the streams. Okay, so if you're new to the session, do drop a message and say hi, like what I'm just doing right now. Right, if you're new to the session, do drop a message and say hi. Let me know where you're joining us from. I want to find out. And for all the regulars, a big welcome back. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put into the chat and let me know. Erwin with the quick question about oil. We can do that shortly later on. We'll do, I think Mady was asking early this morning at 3 a.m. about the FOMC meeting minutes. We'll do a quick review of that as well. Okay, so if you have any questions, put it into the chat and let me know. The link for the Discord channel is there for you guys as well. If you haven't already, do make sure you join us in the trading community. That's where we can take our discussions beyond this 1 hour session through the day, right? Into the whole day. Good morning, good afternoon, Jimmy, how are you doing? Hey, Christina, good morning, how are you doing? All right, so before that, a quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade financial products, so please remember that your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. That said, let's keep going. Oops, not that one. That's tomorrow. Okay. Let me just check that it's a technology Thursday, right? So just want to make sure that everything's working out great for everyone. Okay. So what has happened since the last time we spoke? I'll just show you a quick overview. Dollar index did not push up as we expected. Right? It did not push up thinking that it was going to break and push the upside. It did break right after our session, went up to 104.20 before pushing back down, and now at the trend line and support level of 103.79 or 103.80. I was saying here, it needs to stay, this was from yesterday, it needs to stay above 103.75 to maintain its bullish intent, or what looks like a bullish intent. If it does break below this level, we could see further downside on the dollar index. for that downside on dollar index, we look at the news. Okay, yesterday, before anything else, there was no major news events here. That's also one reason why we thought it was going to push a little bit to the upside, but no big news here all the way through to 3 a.m. GMT +8, where we had the US FOMC meeting minutes. I was saying that from yesterday, I was not expecting a big surprise on the meeting minutes, and like we said, or like we expected, no big surprises there. Came out saying, the minutes came out with the indicating that officials wanted to see more progress towards a 2% inflation target before cutting rates. It also said that officials remained highly attentive to inflation risk, while Powell plans to start next 5-year review of statement in the latter half of 2024. The main thing I'm focusing on is this, where officials want to see more progress towards 2% inflation before cutting rates. Delaying that idea of a rate cut potential in March. And then onto this, a couple of officials noted downside risk of rates staying too high. Bit of a mixed sentiment there, because they're indicating that, hey, maybe rates, we don't run the risk of rates staying too high, right? Most officials noted risk of cutting too quickly as well. So it's a very mixed, you can say mixed, but you could also think of it as a very balanced view, where, you know, as much as the FOMC officials are cautious, or trying to be cautious that rates could stay, you know, the risk of rates staying too high, they also don't want to be cutting too quickly as well, right? So it's a very balanced view that it's almost like they're trying to be Goldilocks, trying to find, you know, the porridge that's not too hot, not too cold, and just nice. Unfortunately, I'm not comparing myself to the FOMC members because they're way up there. I don't think there is ever a situation where you're going to find the perfect timing to cut rates. I don't think there is a time or perfect time to cut rates. I think that it's a matter of like tapping on the brakes. You know, it might come to a situation where they would have to indicate rate cut scenarios, test it a little bit, and then start applying it more consistently. So I don't think, you know, it sounds a bit silly, or sounds a bit too optimistic to try to find that balance between not cutting too quickly and not staying too high for too long. All right, so that's my ramble for today. On the meeting minutes from the FOMC. And if you look at the CME Fed Watch tool, we actually see, when it loads, okay, we actually see it going from a rate cut scenario from 8% down to 6.5. Hasn't changed too much, with a 71% chance of rates staying at the current level in May, right? It was, you know, in January, it was a 15% chance of it staying at the current level, with a high chance of a rate cut. Now it looks like we're back to that almost a majority scenario where rates are going to stay at the current level, with the timeline pushed out towards June, right? Towards June, where we're looking at a 71.6% chance of a rate cut scenario. A bit unfortunate. I don't really like to see this. I would like to see a little bit more of a rate cut scenario being introduced a little bit earlier on, for selfish reasons. With interest rates coming down, we're going to see a bit more activity on the dollar index, a bit more volatility right across the board. Okay, but you can see that as much as what they have said, the dollar is losing ground for today. So we're looking at this key level right now. With all that said, Okay, with all that said, I'll take a pause first and say a big good morning to Kalinzi. How are you doing? Hey Diana, good to see you again. And hi Ayakame, good morning. How are you doing? Now, with all that said, for today, early this morning, we had the PMI numbers for the Aussie on the manufacturing and services. Look at that, manufacturing has gone from 50.1 in that borderline expansionary phase down to 47.7 into that contractionary phase, while services PMI gone from 49.1 up to 52.8. Okay, we do have at 4:15 through the day PMI numbers to come from the French, the German, the whole Eurozone, and the UK. Again, I used to pay a lot of attention to PMI numbers back in 2008, 2012. Now, not so much attention onto the PMI. Also because you see, we're not looking at a potential big change on the PMI numbers, right? It's French staying at about that 43, 45 range. German 46, 48 range, a small increase, but still in that contractionary phase. Eurozone as a whole, 46.6 to 47, not likely a big change on manufacturing PMI. Together with services PMI, 48.4 to 48.8, again in that contractionary phase. PMI is the Purchasing Managers Index. Purchasing Managers Index is actually supposed to give you a bit of a early insight into what industry players are expecting. Industry in terms of manufacturing or services are expecting, and it looks like it's contractionary. It's still in the contractionary phase. Together with the pound, the UK manufacturing PMI 47 to 47.5, services PMI from 54.3 to 54.2. No big change again. Okay, no big change again. So I'm not expecting major surprises here from now through to 5:30. Tonight, well, later after that, we do have core CPI and CPI for the Eurozone. Again, it always, well, not always, but most often comes out as expected. So again, no big surprises there. Okay, this one has a bit of a blip there, but generally it stays as previous, it stays as forecasted. Not expecting any big surprises. Through to Canadian retail sales number, looking like we might see a change, a flip instead, not just a change, but a flip from that negative region, minus 0.2%, minus 0.5%, up towards positive 0.8 and 0.7%. So if that does happen, we could see some strength come back into play for the Canadian dollar, together with the what looks like possible weakness on the euro, on the dollar index. We might actually see Canadian USCAD or the loonie being an interesting pair to be trading. I'll show you shortly. And then later today we have, well, tonight we have the flash manufacturing PMI for the US, 50.7 to 50.5. Services PMI from 52.5 to 52.4. Again, not expecting any big surprises there. I just saw this headline. Australia now seen cutting rates in third quarter. Look at that. We're switching, right? We're switching towards a bit more talk about rate cut scenarios. I think what's going to initiate a lot of the central bankers to actually take action will be one. We just need one central bank to start cutting rates, and we're possibly going to see a series of other central bankers take the action. It's, you know, no one wants to be the first one, right? So with that, Nothing much tomorrow. I'll tell you more about that during tomorrow's session. Okay. Hey Nav, good morning. How are you doing? Now let me just check. Hey JGHG, how are you doing? What will happen on PMI? What will happen? Well, I just went through PMI, so good questions there. Thanks for that. How are you guys doing on TikTok? Do put it into the chat. Let me know. Now, with all that said, all right, we've got a whole bunch of PMI numbers and retails. We'll look at a CAD for that. We'll look at the charts right now. Okay. Today being the 22nd. It just feels so weird when I'm not streaming on TradingView. I'm checking my windows, but I can't check TradingView. So I'm a bit out of sorts at the moment. But okay, today being the 22nd, dollar index did not push up, right? So let me just check that one. It came up close to 38.2 before pushing back down. All right, we don't need that. We have that one there. Okay, so we have that one as 50%. Right, we have 50 there, we have 38.2 there. Now dollar index pushing lower. I think the main question would be how much, if it does break below this support level, how much lower can it go? And just because I remember Dinah's on a session, Dinah was saying yesterday that on the daily time frame, the dollar index did look like there was a bit more of a bearish push or downside potential. It is coming around, right? So very good spot there, Diana. So we were talking about this yesterday, saying it might have a bit of a push up before that continuation back down. So that's why I remembered that, and credit to Diana for pointing that out. Now at this point, right, it does look like it's going to break that support. It is slightly outside of the Bollinger, so we want to watch what happens at this next 2 hours. Why is it moving so much right now? Oh, apart from the Nikkei, we talked about Nikkei 2 days ago, so make sure you check that. It's breaking that support. No big news expected. Let me see this. 50% is right there. Okay. So because 50 is right there, and I'm thinking of that point there, I'll take 61.8 away, and 50 is right there. Okay. So I'm looking at this point here together with the 50. We'll look at Swiss yen shortly. Okay, so I'm thinking we have this point, about there. 103.40 would be a reasonable point to consider. Okay. Sorry. Okay, now with that, today being the 22nd, so that H4, I'll talk about that when we do a review on the H4 time frame. On the H1, breaking that trend line. So now we're looking for dollar index to break trend line, bullish trend line, break support area of 103.70. We could see it trade down to 103.40. Okay, so what I'm saying is if it breaks the trend line, break that bullish trend line, right? That means it needs to close below this point, below this line, and if it breaks the support area of 103.70, which is there, this means it is closed below this point, we could see it trade down to that 103.40 level. Okay, that 103.40 level. Sorry, give me a second. Just got a call from home. Yep. All right, sorry about that. I just had a call from home I had to deal with. Give me 1 second. I'm terribly sorry about this, guys. Give me 1 second. One second. All right, sorry about that. All right, I'm back. You know, I got to deal with the kids. Anyone have kids? Anyone had to deal with kids? Urban says small support around 103.65. 103.65 is right there. I think that if it does break below that point, we could see that move lower. That's the 61.8 right there as well. Okay, so the main thing I'm watching now is that it's outside the Bollinger Band, so I need to see that break before I'm going to see further downside. Dollar index will probably look to fill that volume imbalance. Yeah, that big push up. We're possibly looking at that come down, test, and maybe push back up, but might sit there for a while before pushing down. So something to watch over the next couple of hours. Diana says RSI is below 50, so we're going to see that as a bit of a gravitational pull to the downside as well. Okay. All right. I lost my train of thought a little bit. Now that's happy. I'm happy with that. Great to see you again, JGHG. Should we sell the euro? I'll get to the euro shortly. Just hang on tight. Always cautious if Asia session moves this fast. It's not really the Asia, oh, it's still Asia session, but we're heading into the UK Open, the Euro Open. I'm not ruling out as well possibility. Look, we talked about this on Monday, that could come to this support and bounce. I'm not ruling out that chance as well. But with the way it's moving, the first or the most logical expectation would be for a bit more downside to continue, right? The momentum to continue to the downside. Then looking at, so because of that, looking at the Kiwi dollar here, all right, we spoke about this yesterday, thinking that it's going to push up, test, and reject. What happened was it came down towards this trend line or the channel. Take that trend line away. Came down to the channel, the bottom of the channel, and bounced right back up. All right, bounced right back up. At this point, I would say that it looks like, right, as much as I'm anticipating for it to push up to test this area, this channel that has been running on the Kiwi looks to be well respected, right? Looks to be well respected, and if that does play out, means that it could do that and this way. I don't see unless this bounces or sits or bounces a little bit, I don't see why it should hit and turn back down. I don't see why it should hit and turn back down, but I'll also tell you that that this is a 50 pip range, a 50 pip channel to the upside. And I don't like that kind of tight range trading. So I'll still maintain what we spoke about yesterday, where I would be looking to sell down on rejection of that resistance. 6240, 20 pip stop loss, back down 65 to the downside. So if it stays within the channel, then it will take a little bit longer for this to play out. But if it does test up, I think that it would be reasonable. I don't see a big reason why the dollar would have a massive drop. So we're looking for either a bounce at this level or a bounce at this level, which means that I'll be looking for that reverse back down. Okay, and you can see this level was back in January where it tested and had that big drop. So I'll look for that move on the Kiwi. 6240, 20 pips stop loss, 65 pip take profit. And I think we have it there. So reject resistance, 6240, 25 to 65. We could do 20. I'll change that to 20. Okay. Hey Pips Apprentice, no worries. Better late than never. Good to have you with us. Correct me if I'm wrong, the recent news have been bullish for the dollar index. Yes, the recent, well, depends on what you mean, which recent news. Which recent news are you referring to? But I do, I think the idea that that they are delaying the rate cut scenario has led to some upside on the dollar index, but we're seeing it push down, I think slightly also because that the other currencies are gaining a little bit of strength. So it might not be entirely about dollar strength or dollar weakness. It might come down to relative strength or relative weakness against the other currency pairs. FOMC has actually been, yes, a little bit bullish on the dollar, NFP as well. NFP with very strong numbers. So yes, they have been quite bullish on the dollar, but I think this is the strength of the other currency pairs, or maybe getting in early pricing in a rate cut scenario. But we'll trade what we see. We anticipate with the way that it's pushing down, intraday setups might be looking at a bit of a push to the downside. Okay, so Kiwi is done. Aussie pushing right up. So that rejection did not happen. Take that away. That trend line is there. We can keep that. Pushing up right now. It came down, found 23.6. So we can keep that there. No worries. JGHG. I'll keep that there. In fact, I don't really need this. Yeah, I'll keep that there. Take this one away. Aussie dollar now pushing to the upside. Again, I wouldn't trade this up. I would instead look for a reaction along this resistance level. Next big resistance is up there. There is an interim level at about this point here, 6662, because of this points here. So let me just check something as well on this 61.8 being right there. All right, so that's an area to look at. What I'm thinking is that as much as we are planning that the Kiwi might test and reject, bit of a flip side scenario is that what if the dollar does see that massive drop, then you could be trading it up if it breaks above this resistance 6620, 6625 I would go. Stop loss 20, take profit, I would go all the way up to 80 with a hesitation possibly at 6660. Okay, on dollar strength or dollar weakness scenario, we see this push up. Okay, I'll be happy with that. Now we're looking at this on a dollar weakness, so we're looking to buy at 0.6625. Stop loss about 20. Take profit will be 80 to the upside. 80 to the upside with a hesitation at 0.6610. I'm missing something. I'm typing the wrong number somewhere. 6660. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. So however it develops, if we see that now dollar weakness, we're going to see the Kiwi push up, and then we might be looking for a dollar strength to come back in to trade it back down, or continued dollar weakness is going to see this push up, then you could trade it up further beyond that resistance to the next resistance. I know that many of you, or a number of you, would be able to, or would be likely to trade towards this resistance area, right? Just to trade it up to this point here. Yes, you can do that in a smaller time frame, but for the purpose of our stream looking at H1 setups, I wouldn't recommend that. I would say wait for it to break before you trade it up. Okay, then on to the yen. I was hoping for that break to the upside. Did not happen. I think it is too late to get into. I was busy this morning, so I didn't manage to catch this. I think I was telling you all about this yesterday, that if it breaks up, you can buy it up that way, right? Or because I sold it down on Tuesday, you could have tried to sell it back down, but it's too late at this point. Right? It's too late at this point. Why it's too late? It's because if you sold it, even if you sold it right now, your stop loss will be about 35 at least, and your take profit will be about 35. It's a 1:1. Is that something you're comfortable with? If it is, maybe something you can do, but I would prefer not to, because it's right in the middle. So on the US yen, I would instead look for reaction along this 149.70 level. Right? Why I look for reaction along this level is if it breaks down, then we can sell it lower. If not, we can look for that bounce. That's what we saw over the last two scenarios. I'm looking at this. I don't actually need such a big area. I just need that. Yeah, because of, as much as I have that 38.2 there, I'm catching this tail here together with that tail there. So I'm looking at about that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for the US yen, again, in summary, what I'm looking for, it's too late to sell it back down now, unless you're comfortable with that 1:1 to the downside, potential 1:1. What I would in fact instead do is look for reaction along 149.70. Okay, so US yen, I would say wait and look for reaction at 149.70. I actually really like how the dollar is moving. I think that we might get a lot of opportunities coming around shortly. At the end of this hour, if it continues, that might actually be quite good news in terms of trade setups. Miles is asking if dollar index is going up, then gold is going down, correct? Yes. Dollar index and gold does have a slightly inverse correlation. Okay, now with that, on to the pound again, that came close but didn't trigger, pushing up. I think Jamil was talking about this yesterday, where I think he was trying to buy it up. It did shoot up before coming right back down, now pushing back up again. Needs to break 61. I like to see this break above 61 before we could see a big move to the upside. It's tested once, rejected, came close, rejected. Now at a similar level, what needs to happen on dollar weakness scenario would be for it to break above this point, 1.2685. Take profit 80 pips to the upside. I just want to catch that high. Stop loss would be tight, no more than 20 pips that way. Okay, so 1.2685, 20 pip stop loss, 80 pip take profit to the upside for the pound dollar on dollar weakness. So we're looking to buy 1.2685, stop loss 20, take profit 80 to the upside. Okay. Could we have any hesitation levels? No particular levels that I'll be looking at. I think if it does push up, we're going to see we should see a good move upwards if that dollar does continue to weaken. Then on to the euro. Again, that came close, did not trigger, take that away. Trend line, I am at the point where we can take that trend line away. The fib levels, this one I can take away. I just want to clean up the charts. I like a bit of a cleaner chart. Take those away for now because it's pushing up. It's broke that 61.8, pushing higher. Not worth trading this to the upside right now. So Agemang, someone, not going to mess up your nickname, but someone on TikTok is asking whether we should sell the euro. I don't think it'd be a good idea to try and sell the euro right now, right? Although it's broken at 61. What we want to see is this resistance is a 38.2 with 61.8 right there as the next. Oh, what's happening here? Resistance level. So what you want to see is a reaction along 1.0883 or 85. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? We just got through pound. I'm thinking that 1.08, 1.09 closes above 1.09. You have a 80 pip move. Everything seems to be coming to an 80 pip move. And 25. And then if you look to sell this down on rejection, 1.0870, stop loss 20, 25, take profit to go down 80 that way. So that's actually quite an interesting level to be looking at. Yes, okay, good. So putting it into words, what I think on the euro will be look for reaction at 1.0885. We could look to buy from 1.09 with a stop loss of 25 to 80. Stop loss of 25, take profit of 80, or we could look to sell at 1.0870, I think. 1.0870, 25 to 80. Stop loss 25, take profit 80 to the downside. And that's what I'll be looking for. Jamil saying yesterday lost 12 pips and second trade today morning to hit TP. Yeah, I saw when I was looking at the pound dollar pushing up, I was just thinking that you might have hit your stop loss and then trading it up right now. Okay, look at that. As much as we're talking, the dollar index has been dropping. Right now, breaking below that 103.70. Don't rush into it, because look, it's way outside the Bollinger. I think it's going to sit there. Someone, I can't remember, Irwin was saying 103.65, a bit of a support, so it's creeping towards that point. Might see a bit of a bounce before that push lower. Okay, so we're looking at what's going to happen here. Then onto the US Swiss franc, dropping, pushing right back down. Dollar weakness, relative Swiss franc strength, pushing down. Again, I did not trade this because US Swiss is not something that I look at on my charts. I do the analysis of that. It is pushing down. Anyone got onto this trade, do let me know. Now, as it's pushing down, we want to see it's gone down about 37 pips. So if you're in a profit, very good. If not, then look for it to possibly test the support level here at 8720. Okay, it's broken that level. 50% is there at 8720. Bollinger is way outside, so it could bounce up a little bit in the next 15 minutes or so. We are looking at possibly further downside, so this could drop. Looking at that continued weakness on the dollar, if it does break below 8710, stop loss tight at 20, take profit down to 60 that way. Okay, I'll keep that. US Swiss franc 0.8710, stop loss 20, take profit 60, was it 60? Yes, 60 to the downside. All right, there we go. If you're already in the trade, I would hold on to it or move it to break even and let it run. I'm looking for a reaction at this support. Then, because we looked at the US Swiss franc and the US yen looking like it's pushing a little bit lower, Swiss yen, look at that. We were saying this yesterday, where we're looking for either to test this support, which it didn't, or test that resistance, which is at right now. Diana's asking, why does Swiss franc gain strength? There is no news. It's not so much about the Swiss franc gaining strength. What it looks like is the dollar weakening, and because of the dollar weakness, right? Dollar weakness here. Wait, where is it? Okay. Dollar weakness here is going to lead to the strength of the Swiss franc. So it's a balance, right? It's gone this way. So that's why we're seeing this Swiss franc strengthen. And hence, we're looking at this pushing up. But remember that we have seen all that rejections 11th of Jan, 17th, 29th of Jan, all the way through to 2nd of Feb. What you want to see is how it reacts at this point. H4 time frame, it's at a historic high. So look and wait. I'm thinking that this might push down, but maybe we could see that bounce back up. So if you were looking to buy this up, it's going to be risky, right? It's going to be risky because you'll be like 171.60. Your take profit would be that previous high. It's a bit risky there. I think that I would prefer exactly what Diana is saying, is because of what has happened over that many scenarios, I would just wait. It might do this. Oops. It might do this. What am I doing? Hang on. It might do this, and then I'm looking for that push back down. Right? Then you'll be looking at something like that, 20 pips to 70 to the downside. I know the temptation will be there to buy it up. In the next 12 minutes, for example, you can see that it's slightly outside Bollinger. If you are a bit adventurous, you could look at 171.60. I was going to say you can look at that, 40 pips, a tight stop, 20 pips. I don't think it's worth the risk. You know, that, yes, you could make some pips there, but I don't think it's good risk management strategies. I would say if that reversal happens, take advantage of it. If it doesn't, it might be a missed opportunity, but that should be fine as well. Right? So I would prefer looking for that rejection back down. Thomas is asking for the pound yen. Yes, we can do that. In my opinion, if news come out negative, there's potential downside. Swiss yen, yes, that's what we're talking about there. Angel case, very nice, very good job. 60 pips on the pound dollar and 40 pips on the US CAD. 100 pips for Angel case, good job. Very well done. Now, I lost my train of thought. What am I doing? I've done that. Now, US CAD. Push down. I did catch a bit of this move. I didn't catch the whole 70. I did about, where was I? Because it did not push up and turn down, I caught in about that point. I got in about that point there. Then I had my stop loss about 25. I had my take profit about 40, I think, about there. Something like that, I can't remember. That was quite late last night, right? Just got in just to see what happens, and it pushed down. So, no, actually I did less than that. I think it was, yeah, about 30 pips early this morning close out. Yeah, I know I woke up this morning and the trade was gone already. There was a small trade there on the US CAD, not super exciting for me on that, but if you look at it right now, it is pushing down. That one is done. Take that away. It is pushing down right now. Why is it pushing down? Because of the dollar index pushing lower. Does need to break below this 61.8 before. Look at what happened here and here. Needs to break lower before we're going to see further downside. Right? But very crucial at 1.3430 0. Right, this I would say, before I forget, is I'll put there watch 1.3430 level. Okay, then if it breaks from this point, then you'd be looking to sell it down 1.3425, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 60 pips to the downside, or if it bounces you buy it back up, but we're looking for that short-term trend. So we're looking to sell at 1.3425, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. Yes. Then with that, looking at oil, you see that it's looking like it's slowly pushing back up. So none of that played out a little bit. It didn't push up, but it did trade down from the last time we spoke about this. I think also when Erwin was asking about it. Now at this point, if US oil does push up, then we're going to expect that downward push on a usdcad to be a bit more significant. I think at this point, it's again back to looking for that reaction along 79 with the potential oil rises for second day on improving signs of US refinery demand. So we're looking at that pushing back up. Needs to break above 79.30 before we're going to see, 79.50 before we're going to see a more sustained push to the upside. Okay, Erwin, so I'm looking for it to break above the resistance at 79.50 to signal a more sustained push higher. Okay. Then on to look at a pound again, pushing up. I actually want to end the session soon so that I can get into my trades. Pound pushing up, US yen sitting right there. Then looking at the pound yen, like Thomas is asking for, pound pushing up. Okay, so that did not happen. Take that away. Pound pushing up, dragging the pound yen higher. Trend line like that, holding prices up. Okay, beyond this level, you can see we're at not the highest point, because back in 2015, I remember trading this up in 2015. I love trading the pound yen up during that period. 2012 to 2015, I was just looking to buy it up all the time. Yen was my favorite pairs during that period. So we do have a big resistance at 195. And yes, gold is lucky last. Let me see. Okay, back to the H1. The current. I think it's a bit too optimistic to think of hitting 195 now. If the pound dollar does continue to push up, then it is naturally going to drag the pound yen to the upside. Yes, pound yen is great for scalping. Pound yen on daily TM. What's TM again? Sorry, Mark. Not sure what's TM. If it breaks above 190.40, if it breaks above 190.40, stop loss would be about maximum stop loss would be at 45. Take profit reasonably. First one, 58. Yeah. I think what you could even be looking for is if, because of that near-term high there, and is breaking, and pound yen being a very momentum-based pair, you could be looking at 190.40. I wouldn't do anything. 190.40. Your first trade might not be the best setup. Now, your first trade, I would say your stop loss would be about 40 pips. You could try 30. Where your take profit would be at about 60 pips, and I want it at that round number, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so pound yen would be break above 190.40, stop loss 30 pips, take profit 60 pips at that 191 round number level. Okay. Elvin Bernard is asking, will the Swiss yen go down? Don't be sorry to ask, no worries. Like we were saying, Swiss yen testing that level, look at that rejection. We're looking at, yes, I'm anticipating I'll be positioned to look to sell it down, but I don't think it's ready yet. Okay, I will be a bit more cautious to try and buy it up, so I'll be more positioned to try and sell it down. Monthly of Aussie US seems to be respecting 61.8 at 6817. 6817 is very far away. So yeah, we could get there, but I think that we could look at that pushing back up first. Okay. Yes, we'll get to gold right now. Okay, no worries, Thomas. I hope that answers your question on the pound yen. Thanks for asking. And if you look at gold, we were saying it's going to come down into this area and bounce. It did not even make it that far. It came down to 2020 and is bouncing back up. It is right now at the previous or yesterday's high. Right, is at yesterday's high, so did not do that. Take that away. We don't need that either. We'll maintain these. Okay, and there we go to the top. So yesterday we were talking about this possible retrace to 2018. It got to 2020 for a bounce back to 2032. It's on the way. It just touched 2032. So this was yesterday's view that you get to 2032, just touched right now. I think a little bit more conservative. Dollar index still pushing down with one more minute to close. We're looking for this to break above 2032 to get to 2040. There's a lot of levels in between, but I think 2040 would be a reasonable point. So look at that. I just want to watch the dollar pushing, and then I want to get into my trades. Gold, we're looking for it to break 2032 to climb to 2040 if the DXY continues to weaken. Okay. Super green trades to everyone. Yes, I hope so too. And you know, as the Discord channel is approaching 1,000 new members, 1,000 members, and we started this less than a year, coming to a year right now. So if you haven't already, do make sure you join the Discord channel. I am about to launch live trading sessions where I'll just trade, maybe not talk too much, and just, you know, we can all trade together. So if you're interested in something like that, do make sure you join the Discord channel as well. Dollar index is pushing down, so you know, in scenarios like that, that's where I want to start jumping into my trades. Okay, So please trade well, trade safe. I'll see you all on Discord. If not, then I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully we get to stream a bit, stream on TradingView as well. But if not, we're still here on YouTube and TikTok and LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitch and everything else. Okay, so please take care. I'll see you all tomorrow and also on Discord. Bye-bye now.